Disclaimer, this is audio horror fiction. If darkness or the creatures it holds scares you, leave now. Still listening? Good, then let's begin. This happened a couple of weeks ago, so forgive me if the details get a little blurry or mixed up. It happened when I was walking home one day. I don't remember what from now. It seems so distant. I was taking a shortcut through what could nicely be called the shady part of town, and I was stopped suddenly by a chilling voice. Now, I don't say this voice was disturbing because it was raspy or hoarse. That was to be expected in this part of the city. I say it because it was both very high and low at the same time. That's the only way I can think of describing it. I'll move on to what the voice said for you impatient bastards.
Let me show you this. I think you will find it, shall we say, intriguing.
Now, naturally, my instincts screamed at me to get the fuck out of there, but something drew me to the person speaking, who to this day I cannot recall the sex of. I wanted so badly to escape, yet there was nothing I could do but follow. The stranger led me through a neighborhood I hadn't seen before, to a dusty pawn shop in a state of utter disrepair. The stranger pried open the rusted security door, flakes of it sticking to its pale palms. The stranger held the door open for me and gestured for me to enter the pawn shop. It said,
"Please, enter. Relax."
And though I wanted nothing more than to bolt, something inside me told me to just listen to the stranger. Once I was standing in the pawn shop, the stranger guided me to a back room. The cobwebs hung all around the ceiling and walls. The room was a total mess, and it smelled like death himself had whacked out a few and left it to rot. But in contrast to the disgusting environment in which I was now surrounded, there was a pristine computer that looked to be from the 90s in the back of the room. The stranger pointed towards the computer chair and gave me the command,
"Sit."
So I sat. The computer lit up instantly. On the screen were the words, "Please identify yourself with the provided input." There was an arrow below the text pointing down. There was no keyboard or mouse, but where floppy disks were supposed to be inserted was a thumbprint scanner. I placed my right thumb on the scanner, and for the next 5 minutes I experienced the greatest fear of my life. The video on the screen appeared to be shot from my eyes. It started with my birth, then rapidly changed to toddlerhood. Then my first day of school. I recognized my parents changing rapidly in each scene. With each sequence, the height of the camera increased. Soon it was my high school years, and I was seeing eye level with my father. Then it was college, my dorm, my shitty job, the poorest years of my life. Then it caught up to the present. I saw the events of the last hour happen and fast forward through my own eyes. Next, it surpassed the present, going into the future. I saw my girlfriend now in a white dress with a veil. I was being married. Fast forward just a little more. My wife was holding my newborn child, a daughter. Fast forward again, maybe 5 years later, another child, this time a son. On and on the video went, showing scene after scene of my future. I was at my mother's funeral, standing beside my grieving father. My children were perhaps in their early to mid-20s. A few scenes later, I see myself walking down the same path I took earlier today. Only now I'm almost 70 years old. I see through my own eyes the exact route to the pawn shop, following the stranger who has not aged a day. I sit down and watch my life on the same perfect computer, and then the video turns abruptly black. I turn to face the stranger, who made direct eye contact and said,
"You may leave now, but you may never leave that."
Thank you all so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe and share to help feed the dark machine.